ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत नः शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्वेदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। शारदा शारदाम्बुजे वदना वदनाम्बुजे सर्वदा सर्वदास्माकं सन्निधिं सन्निधिं प्रिया सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयम् नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं शक्तेः पौत्रमकल्मषम् पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः। चतुर्वदनो ब्रह्मा द्वैबाहुरपरो हरिः अमाललोचनः शम्भुः भगवान् बादरायणः। ॐ सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सूत्र आनंदमयोऽभ्यासात् विकार शब्दान्येति चेन्न प्राचुर्यात् तद्धेतु व्यपदेशाच्च मंत्रवरलिकमेव च गीयते नीतरूपनुपपत्तेः भेदव्यपदेशाच्च कामाच नानुमानपेक्षा अस्मिन्नस्य च तद्योगं शास्ति अन्तस्तद्धर्मोपदेशात् Page 141 Idam mam nayate Idamam nayate Ataya ishvantaraditye Hiranmayaha purushaha Drishyate Hiranyashmashruhu Hiranyakeshaha Apranakhat Sarveva suparnaha Tasya yatha kapyasam Pundarikam eva kshini Tasya ut iti nama Saesha sarvebhya papamabhya Udeti ud iti havai sarvebhya papamabhya yaya evam veda Ityadi daivatam Athadhyatmam Ataya Ishvantarakshani Purusho Drishyate Ityadi Tatra Samshayaha Kim Vidya Karmati Shayavashat Praptotkarshaha Aschit samsari Surya Mandale Chakshushe cha Kupasyattvena Shruyate Kimva Nitya Siddhaha Parameshvaraha Iti Kim tavat praptam Samsariti Kutaha Rupatva Shravana Aditya Purushe Tavata Hiranyashmashruhu Ityadi Rupamudahartam Akshi Purushepi Tadevati Deshena Prapyate Tasya Tadeva Rupam Yadamushya Rupamiti Nacha Parameshvarasya Rupavatvam Yuktam Ashabdamasparshamarupamabhyam Iti Shrutehi Adharashramanacha Yaishvantaraditye Yaishvantarakshini Iti Nahi anadharasya Swamahim pratisthasya Sarvavyapinaha Parameshvarasya adharopadishyeta Sa bhagavaha Kasmin pratishtayati sve mahimni Iti Akashavat sarvagatascha Nityaha Iti cha shruti bhavataha ऐश्वर्य मर्यादा श्रुतेश्च स एष ये च मुष्मात् पराञ्चो लोकास्तेषाम् चेष्टे देवकामानां च इत्यादित्य पुरुषस्य ऐश्वर्य मर्यादा स एष ये च एतस्माद् अवाञ्छो लोकः तेषां चेष्टे मनुष्यकामानां च इत्यक्षे पुरुषस्य न च परमेश्वरस्य मर्यादावत् ऐश्वर्यं युक्तम् एष सर्वेश्वर एष भूताधिपतिरेष भूतपालः एष सेतुर्विधर्णयन् येषां लोकानाम् असम्भेदाय इति अविशेषश्रुतेः तस्मान्न अक्षादित्ययोः अन्तः परमेश्वर इत्येवं प्राप्ते ब्रूमः अन्तः तद्धर्मोपदेशात् इति य एषोऽन्तरादित्य य एषोऽन्तरिक्षिणी इति च श्रूयमाणः पुरुषः परमेश्वर एव न संसारी कुतः तद्धर्मोपदेशात् तस्य हि परमेश्वरस्य धर्मा इह उपदिष्टाः तद्यथा तस्य उदिति नाम इति श्रावयित्वा अस्यादित्य पुरुषस्य नाम स एष सर्वेभ्यः पापमभ्यः उदितः इति सर्वपापमापगमेन निर्व्यक्ति तदेव च कृतनिर्वचनम् नामाक्षी पुरुषस्य उपपुरुषस्यप्यतिदिशति यन्नाम तन्नाम इति सर्वपाप्मा अपगमश्च परमात्मना एव श्रूयते यः आत्मा अपहत्पाप्मा इत्यादो तथा चाक्षुषे पुरुषे स एव वक्तसामौ तद् उक्तं तद् यजो तत् ब्रह्म इति ऋक्सामाध्यात्मकतां निर्धारयति इति ऋक्सामाध्यात्मकतां निर्धारयति स च परमेश्वरस्य उपपद्यते सर्वकारणत्वात् सर्वात्मकत्व उपपत्तेः पृथिव्यज्ञाध्यात्मके चादिदैवतम् ऋक्सामि वाक्प्राणाध्यात्मके च आध्यात्मम् अनुक्रम्याः तस्य ऋक् साम च गेशनौ इत्यदि दैवतम्. We were seeing this sutra, 20th sutra, and in this 20th sutra, antah taddharmopadeshat, you had heard the subject matter of this sutra is the upasana, and the upasana is mentioned. The Vishayavak is from the Chandogya Upanishad 6th chapter, and 7 attributes of the Ishvara you have heard yesterday, 7 in Adidevata and 7 in Adhyatma we will see today. So what is the question which is being sorted out? We'll see that, but before that get familiar with the two kinds of upasana which is mentioned in the 6.1 which we saw yesterday. The 7 guna, one was Aditya Purushottam, second was Hiranmayatvam, third was Pundrikakshatvam, fourth was Urdhva Loka Kam Ishwaratvam, fifth was Sarva Paparahitattvam, seventh was Sarvatmakatvam, and seventh was Sarva Vibhuti Tattvam. And these are the things which were mentioned in the 6th chapter, 6.1 which you saw. And it is mentioned because this is the Vibhuti portion also. If you see in the Chandogya Upanishad, just get little familiar with the mantra. 6th mantra, 6th chapter, you get familiar, 6th canto. So you can see there, Esha Antah Aditya Hiranmaya Purusha Drishyate. So Aditya Hiranyamaya. And that Hiranyamaya Purusha, how is the Hiranyamaya? Hiranyamashrum. He has, Hiranyamashrum means beard, this hair on your face, Hiranya, mustache, and Hiran beard. He has golden beard and golden mustache also. Hiranyakesha. He has golden hair now. And how is it learned? Apranakhat. Apranakhat means up to the nail, up to the toes. Sarvahiv Suparna. Everything is golden. Oh, this is the second quality. Then what is written here is tasya yatha kapyasam pundar. This is the third. I'm just trying to get your mind tuned to this particular mantra of Chandogya. Without that, you will not find the matter interesting. Then Pundarikam evakshani. So his eyes are red glowing eyes. Kapyasam means red glowing eyes. He has red glowing eyes. Not only red glowing, it is lotus kind of eyes. The eyes resembling the petals of the lotus, which is broad also, sharp also, and stretching close to the ear also. So big eyes, that means the width is bigger, and sharp ends are there. This end where the eyes end, this is sharp end, and this eyes stretches up to the lotus, up to the ears, this like this. This goes like this and this. And is red also. This is called the most beautiful eyes are there. Okay. So, Tirtha kapyasam pundarika meva kshani. Now this is the third characteristic. Okay. And what is the fourth one? Fourth one is Urd Loka Kam Ishwaratvam. It can give the higher lokas. Kam means here one who sends objects is a Ishwaratvam, is a controller. He is a controller of the higher lokas. That is mentioned. This is the fourth point. Then Sarva Papa Rahitam. And Sarva Papa Rahitam, you have heard, is mentioned by Ut iti nama. Ut nam has been here. Sarvebhya papmabhya. He is free from all pap. Esha sarvebhya papa uta. So sarvebhya papmabhya, he is free from all pap. This is the fifth point. Ut means beyond. His name is beyond. The next point is Sarvatmakatvam. Sarvatmakatvam means he is the Lord alone, is the form of all. Everything is he alone. Therefore the word is again Sarvatmakatvam. Okay. The next point is, so Sarvatmakatvam is mentioned by which word? Tasya Tasarcha Riksha Namcha Grishno, whose name and earth is whole world. And the last is Sarva Vibhuti Matvam. He has all the Vibhutis. So please understand in short. So Adityatvam, then second is Hiranmayatvam, then Pundarikakshatvam, then Urda Lok Kam Ishwaratvam, then Sarva Paparahitatvam, Sarvatmakatvam, and Sarva Vibhuti Matvam. So Yadyad Vibhuti Mat Sattam, etc. you have heard. So it is mentioned in the Upanishad also that there is a person and he goes and sings in the king's palace. So when he sings, king gives him some gift. And then it is written, actually it is not the glory of the king that he sang, it is the glory of the God only. And the money which the king gave was not the money of the king, that is the money of the God only. This is called Sarva Vibhuti Matvam. All Vibhutis belong to God. This is what Hanumanji told to Rama. He says, you are thinking you have power, जाके लवलेश ते जितेउ चराचर धारी. So whose little iota of power you have conquered, I am his servant. So every beauty, every power belongs to Lord only. When I see the power of any government has changed, and I wonder that whose power the person is using. जाके बल लवलेस ते जितेहु चराचर झारी. So by whose bal you have conquered, little of whose bal, who is infinite bal, his little you used and you conquered. So it is his vibhuti. And money is his, beauty is his, lordliness is his, knowledge is his. And even if somebody worships somebody and gets some favor, a person who gives the favor, he thinks I am doing the favor, it is I am blessing him. But actually that power in that person to bless is only because of the Ishwar only. यो यो याम याम तनु भक्त श्रद्धया अर्चितुमिच्छति तस्य तस्या चलाम श्रद्धाम थाम एव विदधाम्यहम् स तया श्रद्धया युक्तः तस्याराधन मीयते लभते च तथा गामान मय्येव वेतानि तान्. So any devata's capacity to bless is also because of that Ishwar only. You heard in Bhagavad that when Indra Bhagwan's, the Indra Devata's worship was not done, Bhagwan Krishna said, we will worship Govardhan. And when he was worshipped, the Govardhan was worshipped, this Indra got very angry. So I wonder that this anger, etc., and arrogance also is there also. Such a high position. And he also thought of taking revenge. Batao bhai. Same devatas had gone to Brahmaji to pray for avatar. Now they are going, he forgot. He said, who is this? These people from Braj, they are mad after one eccentric boy. Like that, he forgot that he is God. And when 7 days when he, torrential rains happened, Bhagwan lifted the mountain. I don't know what kind of arrogance is there. It took him 7 days to realize. If anybody can lift mountain, he should have found in 1 day, I think, was enough. That if anybody can lift mountain, he is not human being. And he should have surrendered immediately. But more is the arrogance, more time a person takes to give up. Arrogant person is very stubborn person. Person doesn't give up easily. He is holding to his mind. Indra is Devata. 7 days he took. He thought maybe still it will fall down. Maybe this mountain will fall down. And maybe I will inundate the whole Braj. Still he had hopes. Hoping again the hope. So when I read this prasang, I get very surprised. I said, how long it took so long for him? He was not Asur. He must be Upasak. Therefore he could have realized. Ultimately he came back. So after 7 days he came back, sought forgiveness. And he said very clearly, my arrogance was there. Therefore I behaved like that. But the power in the Indra to shower is not because of Indra, is because of his power. And similarly you heard in Kenopanishad the story where Tasya Brahmano Vijay Deva Mahiyanta. Brahmano Vijay is written there in the Upanishad. In the victory of the Ishwar, Devatas were glorified. So never think it is my glory. Every glory is belonging to Lord. And if He wants, He can silence you. He can puncture everything in no time. Which He did here in Kenopanishad also. Which He did in Bhagavad also. Which He did in Ramayana also. So He will not take a lot of time to tell us that whose glory is that. So there it comes that Raja Stuti is Ishwar Stuti. And the Raj Dan is Ishwar had given the money, because money actually belongs to Ishwar only. You have heard many times, Shakti does not belong to Jeev. Shakti belongs to only Ishwar. He is the Sarva Shakti, not the Jeev. Jeev is not Shakti, Shaktishali. He is just holding little of power by the prarabdha, what he gets here. Anyway, so these are the 7 points about Ishwar which have been mentioned in the 6th chapter which you heard. Now what now? Now the same Ishwar Upasana which was done in Adhidev is been mentioned in the 4th Khand to be done in Adhyatma. Adhyatma is inside the body. What is that? So please see 7th Khand, 6.1.7. Almost all are same. All 7 gunas are same. But there is little difference. Please be very careful what difference is there. Instead of saying Aditya, here it is said Akshi Purush. That Purush is in the eyes. That Purush, please see 5th mantra, you see, Athya Esha Antarakshani Purusha. This difference you see. So instead of the word sun, the Akshi word has been used. Akshi means in the eyes. So Lord is imagined in the own eyes. But what is common point? First is Akshi Purushatvam. Second is Hiranmayatvam. Lord is golden colored. Third is Pundarikakshatvam. I need not tell the meaning. Pundarikakshatvam. Pundarikakshatvam. This is the third. Fourth is Adholok Kam Ishwaratvam. Adholok Kam Ishwaratvam. Earlier was Urdhalok Kam Ishwaratvam. He is the Lord of higher lokas. And here he is the Lord of lower lokas. See, Sa Eshaye Cha Etasmat Avancha Lokaha Tesham Cheshte. After 5th mantra. So Avancha Lokaha means lower loka. You saw that. Cheshte word means to rule. And see, you must be hearing. In the last, we got that. So here, etasmad avancha, etasmad avancha lokam is lower lok. And in the last, parancho lokaha tesham cheshte is written. In the last 8th mantra, last khand, 6th khand. 6th khand you see, Sa eshe cha amushmat parancho lokaha tesham cheshte. So parancho loka means upper lok, and here is this loka, avancho loka. So this is the difference. This is adholok ishwaratva. That means who's the lord of lower lokas, sense pleasures were there. And last three qualities, sarva paparahitattvam, sarvatmakatvam, and sarva vibhutimatvam is same. So out of the seven, how many are different? One, two are different. Akshipurushatvam and adholoka kamishwaratvam is different, and almost all are same. But very location is different. Here it is in the eyes, and in that it is the Hiranyagarbha, in the sun, in the orb of the sun. Okay, this is the point here. Now, one more small point, I am repeating it. See, generally when Brahma Sutra is mentioned, so people think only Nirguna Brahma has been talked of in Brahma Sutra. Generally, the concept is that Athato Brahma Jigyasa, so Nirguna Brahma Jigyasa is the only meaning. If you read Brahma Sutra, you will find that Saguna Brahma is quite a bit described in Brahma Sutra. Big portion. I'm not counted, but you can see 40% sutras, maybe something like that. I have not counted that. But good number of sutras is on Saguna Brahma in Brahma Sutra. So, Athato Brahma Jigyasa can be Saguna Brahma Jigyasa and Nirguna Brahma Jigyasa both. Only difference is when Saguna Brahma is mentioned, it will be Upasyam Ishwar, and when Nirguna Brahma is mentioned, it will be Gayam Brahma. So one is the Upasyam Brahma, or therefore when Upasyam Brahma will be mentioned, then Brahma will stand for Ishwar, and otherwise it is a Gayam Ishwar. Last two Adhikaran, fifth and sixth Adhikaran is the seventh one. Ikshatya Adhikaran and Anandamaya Adhikaran. It was Nirguna Brahma or Saguna Brahma? Nirguna Brahma. Mainly it was Nirguna Brahma which was the topic. Main topic was Nirguna Brahma. But in this Adhikaran, Antar Adhikaran, the topic is not the Nirguna Brahma, and topic is the Saguna Brahma. I'll come back to why Saguna Brahma is discussed more at certain times in Brahma Sutra. Here Upasyam Brahma is discussed. And yesterday I was telling about the Upasana also, that Upasana develops lot of faculties. Upasana makes you more 3-4 things I had mentioned. The broadness of the mind, where you don't exclude anybody from yourself, comes from Upasana. This I was taking Brihadaranyaka in Vibhuti, and the whole Brahman was on Upasana. And Upasana makes a person feel that this whole world is only a Virat. So instead of Jagat Buddhi, you develop Virat Buddhi. And instead of this person is different than me, and I am another individual, and he is another individual, we develop, he is one of the amsh of the same Ishwar that I worship in my puja room. So there is a anshi amsh bhava that you established in your mind through the upasana. So upasana's very big role comes in your thinking of how you perceive somebody. The perception of somebody. If required, that person has to be punished also. It's not that I won't punish, but punishment is not out of repulsion and bhed buddhi. I told you the story one, that in the kingdom of Akbar, two warriors came. You remember the story? Will you start, then we'll see. I don't remember. And both, Akbar said only one seat is there. So both said, okay, you show your valor and let me see who wins. Both were given the sword and both started fighting. And in the top of the fight was going on, and one of the warrior pinned another warrior, and he was about to stab him with his sword. And when he was about to stab him, this warrior who was on the flat ground, he spat on his face. And he spat on his face. This warrior who was about to kill him, he stopped. He didn't kill him. He said, we'll have some other time. Akbar said, you are almost on the verge of victory. What problem is there? Why didn't kill him? He said, when I was fighting, I was just thinking that I am fighting for you and kingdom. When he spat on me, it became a personal issue. So I forgot that I was fighting for you or for the country. I felt that because he insulted me, therefore I should kill him. So if I had killed at that moment, it will become a sin. Because my bhav was not good. And when your bhav is not good, it is better to not to put it to action. Because I'll incur sin only. Very honest, I liked the approach. He said, again we will fight. Earlier I was a representative of a Virat and representative of youth. But because I became conscious of my separate entity, the whole failure of a person is how frequently he becomes overconscious of his separateness and excludes other person. This is called ahankar, and this is what keeps him in samsara. And therefore, the upasana's very big work is that person does not see the world as different than the vibhuti of the God. And when I was reading Brihadaranyaka, it was so surprising for me. So many mantras are on that whole. You will not believe, 21 days I had taken there. 21 days in Vibhuti. And each day 3 classes were there. So morning class was from 3 means all 3 1.5 hour class. My God, good I didn't come. So 4.5 hour class. So morning class was there around 7:15 to 8:30, and then 10:30 to 12, or 11 to 12:30, then 4:30 to 6. And as you know, my class goes 5 minutes more. So you should not do it. Please don't get into this. People won't accept you. Now, after that 7 to 8 was satsang. Satsang was about Bharat Charitra. I thought people will get tired listening. You won't believe, 21 classes was only on Upasana. And I had to complete one Brahmana. That section I had to complete. Hardly two mantras must be on the self. Now the self portion is going to come now. So the coverage has been given on Upasana because normally a person is not broad-minded. And what happens when he is not broad-minded? He is unable to break the aham-vritti. Smaller is your mind, more difficult will be your meditation. And more difficult will be your understanding of Vedanta. Because something smaller is difficult to transcend and something bigger is easier to transcend. Impure mind, it is difficult to see impure mind as drishya. It is easier to see pure mind as drishya. Impure thought is difficult to leave than the pure thought. Thought of calm krodh is difficult to leave. And therefore, Upasana's big area is to widen your perspective. And if somebody is wrong, suppose somebody is at fault, you should be punished, no doubt. But it is not personally that I am telling that he should be punished. When a finger has to be operated or any part of my body has to be removed, I am not doing out of hatred of that part. I'm doing not out of hatred. To protect the whole, I am trying to take the part out so that the whole can live in harmony. But there is no vengeance toward the part which is giving me pain. There is no hatred towards that part which is a source of my pain. Hand, leg. Okay. So this is a very big area. Second thing I told about Upasana, it forces you to go inside. So the habit to leave the thought of the world, to close your eyes and close your ears and forget the world. Jagat Chintan Abhyas is so much. No, I won't think about the world. This is the second purpose of Upasana. And third purpose, if you remember, Ishvara Anugraha was there. And many more purposes are there. I am not going into that detail. But when you do Upasana, you develop a capacity to sit with closed eyes, and you can think about that mantra or devata for hours together without getting bored, without feeling hungry, without feeling thirsty, without moving yourself too much. You become slowly from Deha Bhav you go to Jiva Bhav. Before going to Atma Bhav, please go to the Jiva Bhav. So you will forget your body. The very important portion is to loosen this aham-vritti, that I forget my body. I forget my past. I forget my future. I forget the form. I forget the self-importance seeking tendency. During the time you are doing Upasana, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever is there, at least at that time you don't want that people should think I am big. And at that time I don't want that I want to hate anybody or I am angry on somebody. I am desiring anybody of the world. At that time, I have made myself that I don't want anything. I am surrendering to you now. Very few moments are there in our day where we have this bhav of negation of the importance of my bigness, imagined bigness. So negation of my importance of my imagined bigness, not real bigness, it's all imagined. I do in Upasana because I'm aware of the Vishal Bhagwan in front of me. God is too big, I'm too small. Bhasita himuracha bhasmana bhujangaihi brahmanda vyapta deha. Before chanting of Purush Sukta is done, chanting of this is done. That God is too big in front of. I can't be too big, bigger than Him also. So Upasana makes your aham-vritti very loosened. So more samarpan bhav is there. Okay. And you're not aware that who is looking at me, who is not looking at me. You don't want. Or somebody should see that, I'm chanting, or somebody should see I'm doing jap. You don't want anything. Or somebody should call me, don't disturb me, let me be with my Lord. But when this habit is there for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and slowly you enjoy the smallness of ahankar. This enjoying the smallness of ahankar is called vinay or humility. You say, I don't want anybody to see me as big. I'm not big. I'm at the feet of my Lord. Don't want anything. So it is a process of defanging the personality. The fang and hisses that we have. is a lakshan of Ishwar Virodhi Jivan I have lived. I have not thought myself at the feet of God. And Upasana always, therefore, Nama word comes in Upasana. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Nama. Nama itself means not mine. Namam. So when you constantly say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya or Om Namah Shivaya, so naturally Shivakar Vritti becomes bigger than my individual Vritti. This small pygmy self realizes to be small. Nama means I am at the feet only. So before negating the aham-vritti, better to make it smaller. Because you cannot cross it, it is too big. This is what I was telling yesterday, that this big ocean comes in front of the monkeys. Kunap abhiman bhayankar ghor sagar, Tulsidas says. Kunap means body. Okay. If the upasana is nishkam, I need not say that you are here, it means you have to be nishkam only. One who is hearing Brahma Sutra or Upanishad student is not supposed to be sakam. He should go to Purmimamsa then. First part of the Vedas he should go if he want to be sakam. Upanishad is not for sakam person. Pariksha lokan karmritan brahmana nirvedam ayas. So he is not a sakam person who wants fame, who wants recognition, who wants glamour, who wants glory, who wants ashram, who wants disciple, he has no desire. He is not interested in all. Okay. So I'm just putting, you'll say, why the Brahma Sutra is talking about Upasana? You ask Vedavyas. He knows our capacity. He knows our capacity that we are so weak somewhere. This calm, krodha, ahankar makes a person weak because he can't hold the bigger thoughts. Like a small child can't hold a bucket also. 2-year, 3-year-old won't bucket, he will fall down. He can only hold a small thing. Oh, get the glass. He'll get the book. So he'll get the book. Get the paperweight, he'll bring that. He'll say, no, get the, chair. Then he'll drag the chair and somehow he'll bring it. It's difficult for him. So when Kam Krodh is there, he can't hold the thought of Atma. He will listen. Maybe he is little intelligent, not too much intelligence is required for Vedanta. To understand simple Vedanta, you need not be genius. You need not be very, very intelligent. You must have little common sense is required. He will understand. But that vritti which is developed in the class, he can never hold for 1 hour also. Forget about 24 hours. For 1 hour to think I am drishta matra and I am nirvikar and let the world say anything today. I am nirvikar. It is impossible for him. But he may be attending Vedanta class. He is expert. He can talk also. And forget about meditation. He will not sit more than 15 minutes. If he sits. Because mind, vritti is not there. He will brood here and there. Sitting is not meditating, for your information. It is a one exercise you can say. That I have experted, means this asana I have mastered. And closing the eyes also is not meditation. I don't know what you are doing in closing the eyes. Who is seeing? Whom you are brooding about? Sitting, closing the eyes. They are a step, but they are not meditation at all. Which vritti is there? This is the point here. Which is the vritti is there? Sajati vritti prava is there or not about the Atma? Vijati vritti nishedh is there or not? And if the Sajati vritti prava is there, within half an hour, 45 minutes, the Vijati vritti will become very less. I think 1.5 hours. Vijati vritti is very, very less. Why this capacity is not there? Because this person has not gone through the process of upasana. He is a gate crasher. He has come through backdoor entry. He has not invested time in upasana, that he has done jap for a few hours or puja, or he has not practiced it. And therefore, if you see the Vedantins, what I have observed, they had been great upasaks. When Gurudev I found, he was a great upasak. People rush to conclusion. It was not like that. Every place where he went, and many times we used to see when Vishnu Sahasranam was going on, used to sit at one corner, take mala and start doing jap. He had a small mala, 28 beads mala. To me, he personally said that for one day continuously chant Lord's name. I asked if my stamina is going on, I feeling that I'm not, feeling well spiritually. Either leave the house, go to some temple. And don't go by car or by scooter or go walking. And every step when you walk, chant Hari Om, Hari Om. Either go in the temple, which has some spare room. Give money to the pujari to give you food. And whole day maintain silence and chant Lord's name. We think, those who are Vedantin, they don't do Upasana. Arey wo kya baat karte ho yaar tum? Brahma Sutra you read now. This is called very raw Vedantin, who justifies his laziness and justifies his lack of belief and lack of tapasya that is required for upasana. Because meditation, a lazy person is very meditative. Because nothing to do, no hand, legs, don't have to move here. You just close your eyes. You don't know he's sleeping there or he's brooding there. A puja, part, jap, you have to move your hand and chant. Chanting itself is difficult for chant. Therefore, the chant mansik. Why? You can brood, no? If you chant loudly, Om Namah Shivam, Namah Shivaya, you cannot brood too much. The mind is very clever. Most cunning is mind, and if you are not alert, please, it will wash you off totally. Because we therefore do mansik jap. It is not a mansik jap. Mansik jap is when whole mind is absorbed with that jap. No. So this much mind I have, this much is busy in chanting, and this much is brooding on other aspects. Therefore we don't do vachik jap. Vakrivani jap we avoid. Chanting we avoid. Because lazy tongue is there. Or we murmur in chanting. That personality is not developed. The same chatterbox person is there. But in chanting, he will not chant. He will look at it. Or he will murmur. I hear every day. So because it's a verbal laziness. Not that he can't chant, but he is not loudly chanting. That means he is not loudly doing jap also in his room. And such a person will always meditate. Only because he is lazy. He is not having any knowledge in meditation. अरे वो क्या समझते मेडिटेशन इजी है क्या? मेडिटेशन यदा हिनेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कर्मसु अनुषज्यते सर्व संकल्प संन्यासी. Whenever meditation is not good, when we reflect, क्या हो गया आज, क्या कैसा कौन संकल्प आ गया था? What संकल्प had come today that I cannot meditate? क्या हो गया था ऐसा? But because we don't go through the process of upasana, therefore we think upasana, jap, puja, havan. बोले सब क्या? सब ब्रह्मी तो है सब. दिल बहलाने के लिए ख्याल अच्छा है आपका. You are not doing. Why will Bhagwan Vedavyasa take upasana portion when he is discussing such a serious topic in Brahma Sutra? Why a chunk of Brahma Sutra has been given to upasana? What is problem with Bhagwan Vedavyasa? If you have gone through upasana, you went to Saumya Kashi's temple, Uttar Kashi, and that pujari was there, old pujari, who was offering Bilpatra. He said, I have seen the Bon Maharaj, if you remember. And I was a small child at that time. He used to come regularly here. If you remember, that was sitting at one place and then he... No, सीखने को मिलता है. That we learn to understand. So please, if you are not doing upasana for, I'm repeating it, not sakam. Don't do any sakam upasana. Ishvara anugrahaya. Amupada durtekshay dwara. For my humility, take away my ahankar, Bhagwan. I'm coming you for my samarpan vritti. Take my काम क्रोध. This is my purpose of my upasana. Make me sadhan chatushta sampanna adhikari. I don't want jara janma dukhaug tatapyamanam. I'm burning in this power of sansara. I don't want anything. I want my mumukshattva to be blazing mumukshattva. If you have to give me this. Okay. If my bhed buddhi is there with anybody, please remove it. If I have dvesh, please remove it. If I have rag, please remove it. If I have kam krodh, please remove it. And let me tell you, I am telling with authority. Really your mind becomes quiet and your negativity is good, of course. Really it happens that you change as a person. Your perception changes about it. if he is following the parampara upasana, not erratic upasana, not erratic. In Chandil Bhakti Sutra it is a utpat eva. This erratic upasana is utpat. Utpat means calamity, kupadro. बड़ा मजा है when I read Brahma Sutra and I get both the things, then it gladdens my heart. देखो यहाँ भी ये बात खुली है. भगवान शंकराचार्य उपासना, what to tell about that? You already every day you chant stotras. Who can write stotras spanning all God? If you see Vaishnava, they will only confine to Vaishnava stotras. Shaiva are there only Shaiva stotras. Here he will write on Minakshi Pancharatnam also, Ganesh Pancharatnam also, Ganga Stotram also, Achyutashtakam also. He will write commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam also, Shiv Kshamapradhi Stotra also. You can imagine what a big upasak he must be. Why should he be such upasak? And who when he writes from the Upanishad, such a terse commentary he writes and cuts everybody and establishes only one Brahman. The Bhed of Jeev Ishwar, he is the one, vehemently he cuts it. I will come to it why it does that. But people don't know the completeness of any. They mix the sadhya and sadhan. And they mix their qualification is not that what is being talked about. They can't abide into that. So to justify their laziness, their lack of faith and their lack of tapasya, they use Vedanta. I'm repeating it. They use the Vedantic knowledge to avoid that path of upasana. वेदांत क्या बोले, सब ब्रह्म तो है साहब, क्या कौन किसका है. Yet you are using to justify your laziness. To never fall into such traps. Okay. And any teacher who does not tell this, I feel that teacher is not doing total justice with the student. Should tell all these upasana also. Now what is the controversy now in this particular sutra? Because every sutra, every adhikaran is to clarify certain doubt. Now please understand what is the problem here. Problem is, the word Brahman is not being used and word Purush has been used in both the sections. Aditya Purush is there. Here also you saw Akshani Purusha Drishyate. Purush word has been used. Eshuantar Aditya Hiranmaya Purusha. For both the places Purush word has been used. In the Adidevik Upasana, Adityanta Purush is used. And in the Adhyatmik Upasana, Akshyanta Purush has come. Akshyant Purush. Well, what is the problem if the Purush is used? What is the problem? The Purush can be used for Jeev also. Purush can be used for Ishwar also. This is where the problem is. Purusha Shabdaha Jeev Parahava, Ishwar Parahava. The controversy question is, this Purush word is for Jeev or for Ishwar? And the conclusion will be given here that Purush Shabd is for Ishwar. In this context of these two places in Chandogya Upanishad. Only why you are saying like that? Because Lord alone can be the object of meditation. You are not meditating on any Jeev. Okay. So, Antaha Purusha Jiva va Ishwar va. What is the answer? Va means, is it? Gacchati va? Are you going? Is he going? Va word will be used for, is it going? Bhavan Bhojanam Karoti va? Are you having the food? So, is this Purush Ishwar Purush or Jeev Purush? Because Purush has been used for Jeev also. And Purush is used for Brahman also. The answer is Anta Purush Ishvara Eva. Is Aditya Purush or the Akshay Purush? Both Purush has been used for Ishvara only. And why would you say like that? What is the hetu? See the sutra there. Tad dharma upadeshat. Dharma means virtues, because all 8 virtues which you have described can be possible only in Ishwar. Jeev cannot justify with the 8 verses. I hope this is clear. All 8 points which are mentioned can be justified with the Ishwar only and not the Jeev. This is a general description of the sutra. Now I'll take you to the word meaning. So word meaning, there are 2 words, Antaha and Tad Dharmopadeshat. 2 words are there. So Anta means what? Aditya Akshi Anta Purusha. That Purush which is in the Aditya or is in the eyes. Aditya Akshi Anta Purusha. Aditya Anta Purusha. Anta means in that. Inside. Aditya Anta Purusha. That Purush which is in the sun. Or Akshi Anta Purusha. That Purush which is in the eyes. I hope you are clear about this point. In your mantra pushpam, I hope you have marked it where Purush word is coming in both the khand and both the shlokas, both the mantras, where Akshi word is coming and Aditya word is coming. Just for your reference. And you write the page number of your mantra pushpam in your notes, so that if you refer, you can open immediately. What page number is there? Whatever is your mantra pushpa, every mantra pushpa is different page number. So Anta means what? Aditya Akshi Anta Purusha. So how will you write the sentence now? Anta, then in bracket you write Purusha Ishvaraha na Jiva. You supply the word here. Antaha is the main sutra. And in the bracket you write Purush Ishvaraha na Jiva. So Anta Purush, see, Purush word is hidden. But this Purush is for Ishvara and not for Jiva. Anta, bracket you write Purush dash Ishvara na Jiva. Bracket closed. Now this will make the Anta word clear. What is Anta, what we are talking about. And why you are saying Tad Dharmopadeshat. Tad is for Tasya. Tat Purush, Shashti Tat Purush is there. Tas means Ishwarasya. Ishwarasya Dharma Upadeshat. Upadesh means mentioned in the Upanishad. These 8 things which are mentioned in the Upanishad. Ishwar Dharma means 8 qualities which I went with Adhidev and Adhyatma also. This is possible only in the Ishwar. Tasya Ishwarasya Dharma Upadeshat. Upadeshat means because it is mentioned in the Upanishad. In this 2 portion, that is called Tasya Ishwarasya Dharmasya Upadeshat, in this section which is mentioned. Sarvapaparahittatvam, Sarvatmakatvam, Sarvibhutimatvam. This is mentioned in this only. Now the Purupaksh will come. Why you are saying this is why this is Ishwar's? Well, why Sarvapaparahittatvam can be in the Ishwar only? Jeev cannot be without the sins. because he has the sin of avidya. And therefore, this will be in the Ishwar only. I hope this you got the point here. So, Antaha means Antapurush Ishwara, natu jiva. Antapurush Ishwara. Why? Because Tad Dharma Upadeshat. Because here the Upanishad is only talking about 8 qualities which is only possible for Ishwar. Now, 2 beautiful Purupaksh has been brought up by Bhagwan Shankaracharya here, that we will see it tomorrow. Purnamadav Purnaminam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Hari Om.